All right. Hopefully we're live right now. It says we're live, so uh, what we'll do is just say to everyone that babe, just have a look, see if we're on live. To We've had a bit of trouble with links and stuff like that, so I don't know why this happens all the time, but it did. I'm just asking people if we can get seen. I'm not sure if it's working at the moment or not. Says it's a live recording. You're live on the channel.
I just
All
got a
right.
notification
All right,
saying
cool.
you're live.
All right. Fingers crossed we are working. All right. I think Shane said yes, we're on. All right. Sorry, just had a bit of trouble with links and it's just not working. So, yeah, that's great. There's always something happens on Everything Yowie. That's why we call it Everything Yowie. Anyway, there's been a few things happening in the Yowie world, and we thought we'd have a chat about a certain picture that's been posted on some groups or pages. And first, I wanted to introduce my partner in crime here. He's the #1 Yowie researcher in Canberra. He's the only researcher
I'm number two. I've been overtaken.
No, the only researcher to ever research in a Bush Doof shirt. You got a dog that's the size of a horse, and he claims that he escaped the Matrix by slapping himself in the head with a thong 1,000 times. He's my partner in crime, Mr. David Reed.
Oh, thank you very much, Dan. Right, so get to business, mate. We've held everybody up long enough.
Yeah, I know. We should have put it at 8 o'clock and tried to start getting them from 7:30. That's the Everything Yowie way. What I want to talk about is that picture that's been uploaded onto a couple of pages by a Yowie researcher. He's a bit of a pain in the ass, I reckon, but he's posted a pic. I can't put the pic up on here, but I don't think it's a Yowie. This is my personal view on my experience that I've had with taking my own pictures and thinking I had something there, and then going back and finding out it was just a bunch of sticks and shadows and fallen tree and all the different things that make up pareidolia. So I've had a look at it, at the picture and said, it's not what people are thinking it is. And I've had I've seen so many pictures come through over the years, and people all go, oh yeah, it's a Yowie. You can clearly see the face, and you can see this, and then nothing comes of it. It just dies away, and people find out that it's just bullshit. So, anyway, Dave, I want to ask you what you think.
Well, let's try and give people a little bit of background to it, right? Where to begin? It was taken on I believe, an S22 Galaxy phone, and it was taken from some distance, from an area of over a fence and a way off. I can't gauge how far it is. I'd have to wait for the additional information to come out, and that's why I'm not jumping on that it's a fake bandwagon, because I know a few people now have mentioned to me, not fake, but that it's just pareidolia. But I believe there's more information to come out. If I've got any complaint about the way it's being handled, is it should have not all been put out at the one time, not sensationalized. What is the photograph, which I'm not saying it isn't one, because my first impression was that they've got something there, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you see a face there. I'm not denying you see what looks like a face, but I looked at on my biggest screen, my laptop, then because I seen it on my mobile phone, and I was just picking out things like, parts of the lips are actually sticks. It's actually a stick that's going up, and then it kind of goes like on the side and then goes around, and that's the bottom part of the lip. And I'm like, it's a stick. So there's one part of the piece gone. And if you're talking about, or people are saying that over the years they've had encounters and sightings, and these animals have got chests and shoulders 3 to 4 foot wide. Well, where's the shoulders in the pic? Where's the rest of the body? Like the necks of these animals are not long. Everyone always says it's a short neck. So where is this? You would see the bulk. If I saw the shoulders and the bulk, I'd be going, yes, 100%. There's something there, or 99%. You always leave that 1% for error. So I'm like, where's the bulk? You know, you probably got a minimal amount of what can I say, sightings where people have said it was a scrawny looking animal, like it was skinny, maybe it was sick or old, or maybe had a disease, so it was not dying. But the vast majority are saying a huge animal. So where is the rest of the bulk? People
Yeah,
have got to, you know.
being devil's advocate here, Dan. I remember it was said at the Nana Glen, we get together up at Nana Glen. We went to it in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
And as was said about the bus that Buckingham put together,
Yeah.
it may be not what a yowie looks like, but it's what that yowie looked like.
Yeah. Mm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
So,
So like they're not all the same. Like I know they're all
mm,
different ages and all that, but that looked like, all right. It did look like if that was a face, it would look like it wasn't a child. It was like a full adult, because it was even on the camera. I think they're probably with a phone camera, and I don't know why. If you're a researcher, you're using a phone camera. Like if you're out there researching regularly, like I said, I always go back to it. Only costs a couple $100 to get a really good camera that shits on a phone. So it probably looks like he's around 30 meters away to the maximum, probably between, I reckon, 25 to 30. And it still looked like, all right, this thing had a good amount of like size about it, whatever it is. All right, that whole area, even if it's different pieces of pareidolia making it, still look like it's got size. So if that's got size, where's the bulk behind the head? Like heads just don't pop out. There's nowhere to pop out. It was only like a enclosed area where you would see the rest of the body. That's what I'm getting at. There's all these pictures come up and it always shows a face, but never shows no body there. And where you could clearly see, go, well, where's the shoulders? Where's the front of the chest? Or, the parts of the body there. You never see them. It's that's the one thing that there's a major
yeah,
red flag for me.
yeah, no, fair enough too. But things go together in research. And like I said before, they're saying that a mini documentary is coming out shortly, and it's going to have all the background and everything to explain. And apparently, there's some audio and all of that sort of thing that go in hand with it. So yeah, I'm holding judgment until I see everything. And my
You're
only
like this.
complaint, but yeah, I am. Yeah, I
Fingers
am.
crossed.
Yeah.
Look, I'd love it to be real.
I think it should be explored to its absolute nth degree. I mean, they do have a follow-up photograph there, and there's no face there in the follow-up
Yeah,
photograph.
I had a look at the follow up. The only thing is that gets me with this follow up photo is, look, it's not on the exact same angle, and which does mean a lot, because if you're not on the same angle, the way the light and that is getting the direction of the light, the angle from the sun and everything like that is different, which can make a picture really different. And there's a lot of foliage and stuff that's just not in that picture. And there's some, actually there's more coming down, and there's like a log at the front that's actually missing. Something's going on there. Sorry, boys and girls, something just happened. You can release trailers, but you don't give out some of your best stuff of your doco before you actually show the doco. You know, I don't know. They just done it asked about. Like, I know when Attila made it, he had trailers and just had pictures and gave glimpses of things to get you enticed to go there. They don't give you the full picture and say, hey, look at this face, look at this Yowie. You're like, you keep it back. You know, this is the gold, you know, in the picture. You don't release it out and then say, oh, we've got more to come. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just not very professional when you come into documentary making.
No, I don't think it's a matter of being professional, Dan. I think it's just a matter of, you know, I think they jumped the gun. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like 100%. I don't care who it is. I'd love it to have a video and it to be real, but I'm just now the over the years what I've seen, and all I can say is no. I'm just not. I'm not even on the fence. I'm just on no. Because so many times people have gone, oh wow, this is a Yowie, and look at this and look at this picture, and I just start picking out all the errors in it, going no, it's nothing. And then later on, everyone's like, oh, you were right. I said, I know, because I've seen this before. But I hope, you know, when they make this documentary, that it's, you know, done well by someone like that's got a bit of ability to make a documentary, and to make a good documentary, you do need experience like Attila Kaldey, and know how to put things together to make the story run smooth, and have it filmed with good cameras, you know, and not going around and they're hoping they're not filming with mobile phones, because it just makes it look cheap, and then you know you lose interest in the film, you know, and the story's just gone. So you're gonna have to want to capture the people's attention, everyone that's watching it, and keep it so they watch every part of that documentary. Not like this started off well, but it's gone to shit straight away. So it's not easy to make documentaries, but I've got my fingers crossed.
As long as they convey the information, I'm not expecting to be entertained, Dan. You know.
Well,
no,
you know, I am.
Attila Kaldey is a professional filmmaker. You know, with stuff that you're in, that's shown all over the world. You know, so you know, I'm pretty sure Netflix isn't, you know, doesn't worry about you.
Yeah, it's just I just like I said, I want these to be real. I want these videos to be real. Like you said, I just hope the sound recordings that they're saying they've got, other stuff to back it up. I really hope that, you know, it can sway me to say, all right, I was wrong. And I would always say that. But in all these cases that have been over the years, since I've pretty much been in this game since 2005, every single one has ended up being bullshit. So I'm just not holding any hope up.
Anyway, I think Dan, I think it's time for you to, you know, don't sit on top of the fence, don't hop on the no side, just go, wouldn't it be good if that is actually not pareidolia? Right? Because we're all so used to seeing pareidolia that nearly everything's pareidolia. Right?
Yeah, but
what if, Dan, this isn't pareidolia? What if the supporting evidence says more likely than not that's a real Yowie face? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking at that face, and I am sure that it's not a face of a living creature. It's just, but they're saying they got sound recordings and stuff like that. But the only thing that, even with my sound recordings, you kind of get there and say, all right, this is what we think it is. But if you're not there seeing that actual creature make that noise, how can you say this is a Yowie feeding the young, or this is a young Yowie, when you weren't there, but you picked up a weird sound? Like, even there's a lot of my sounds where I'm saying, oh, it sounds like this, it sounds like that. But I'll never say 100% exactly, all right, what I'm saying is this is what it has to be. And if anyone's got any input to say, look, I don't think it's that. I think it may be one of these small kind of creatures that come out at night, nocturnal animal, and they make these weird noises, I'll take that on board. But when some of these people that have these things and they say it's a yowie, and when you say, hey, this is not this because of this reason, because of this reason, because of this reason, then they start getting angry. They don't even go, all right, I'll take that on board. I'll have a look at it. But it's a free world. Anyone can think the way they want, and that's just how I'm feeling about this, is because I've seen it so many times, and it's always the same process. They just come out, look at this, look what we got, look at this, and when you say, they're always hiding behind things. It's always got stuff in front of it and all that kind of stuff. And if it was one that was right out in the open and then you can see the chest and that, or you could see from here up, I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, look, yeah, no worries. But they're always behind things, or it's in a dark little corner, and that's more than likely got more of a chance of it being pareidolia than actually a living creature.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm not on the fence.
No,
I'm off the fence.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that this case might be different, Dan. That's all.
I hope so. I really hope. But
right.
I've had my hopes up that many times, Dave. They've been like squished and.
Oh, you don't go out of control with hope.
I really hope it is.
Yeah. Don't turn to alcoholism or something because it wasn't. But no, anyway, Dan. Seriously, mate, I'm holding off until I get all of the information, and like. For example, if there's sound recordings, I've gotten sound recordings that I've sent to Gary Opert, and Gary's come back and said, that's quite a natural sound of the bush, and I think he knows just about every sound there is. But once upon a time, I was up near Corran Dam, and I put a sound recorder out.
Side?
Sorry? Yeah, I put a sound recorder out. Am I on now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I put a sound recorder out up near Corran Dam, and I got these blood-curdling screams that I've never heard anything like in my entire life, and I thought to myself, that's got to be a yowie. And I sent it to Gary, and Gary said, that's a fox, and I've never heard a fox scream, ever.
Oh, fox. Yeah,
terrible sound.
Yeah, like sometimes they scream like there's like a young girl, like 7, 8, 9 years old, getting murdered or something. Like they make some really like high pitched screams that you're like, what the hell is that? But they make a lot of noises, and then you got the koalas that when I think it's mating season, don't they scream, and really loud too. So there's a lot of animals out there, like even what do you call them? A platypus will growl. It has like a guttural growl sound. So if you're walking through the bush and you're near a creek and there's a platypus there, they can growl, and you're not thinking it's going to come from the platypus, but it does. So a lot of creatures, like there's a bird that screams like a cat, like up in Queensland, cat bird or something they call it. So there's really weird ones. So you really got to have your wits about you, and then go through a lot of different other recordings that you might think it is, and you might happen to get one that sounds similar or the same. And I recently just had a recording sent to me from a guy that been recording a wee jasper, and it was a guttural kind of like sound, and I just sent it to 2 people that I know that are really good with just the normal creatures like horse noises and pig noises, and they both said straight away, the first thing they said, that's a wild boar, straight away, both of them, and these are guys that have been out in the bush for years and years and years and hunting, and they've heard all the noises, and one of them's from the bush, and he just said, yeah, it's a wild boar, 100%. I've heard that too many times. And I went, okay. So I sent it to him, and he said, yeah, thanks very much for letting me know, because he said he sent it to Gary, and Gary's going, it's some mammal of some sort. And he didn't know, but you send to these people that go out in the bush, spend all their time shooting, and they're out camping in the bush, and they live out in the bush, and so that's why I send it to these people. So yeah, so that's about all that's been happening in the Yowie world at the moment. I don't think anything else has popped up its ugly head lately. Anything else to discuss?
No, nothing. Very, very quiet. I do check YouTube most days and do a search with a filter of the last 24 hours, but yeah, no, nothing of interest to me at any rate. So,
Mm.
yeah. So I see Australian Yowies hit a couple of thousand subscribers now.
Oh, I really don't check, to be honest. I don't check that stuff. I think it's 2000, 2100 and something. I wouldn't have a clue. I'm not really on it to worry about subscribers and all that, because I don't say subscribe, ring the bell, or that bullshit. I'll never put ads on my stuff. I'll never be like people say, oh, I was forced to put Patreon on. No one's forcing you. You want money, big deal. It's a free country. You want to make money. But yeah, but it's people want to watch. That's why I got it out there for people to watch and enjoy. And hopefully I could get the Yowie on the video soon. I'm going out Feb. I don't even know what date it is. I'm going out with Attila again, and we're trying an area on top of a ridge this time, back in the Blue Mountains, and I'll hopefully not try and step on a brown snake this time, because I just missed one last time. It was probably about that far. Mate, we walked about
Little
5
will kill you too, Dave.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I know. I was walking, we walked 5Ks in. This was probably at about the 4K mark. I hadn't filmed a thing, and I just thought, this is too good. It's the blue gums are around. Got the camera out, and it's like there's a creek there, and I'm just walking through the little creek that's overflowing the road there. I'm like, oh, what a great area, and spoke for probably 5 seconds, and then Tilla's like, hey, mate, let me trot on the brown snake. I'm like, oh, my bloody God. So I'm like, okay. So I was a bit spooked after that. So after that, there's all these snake trails, and I thought we'd see another one, but no, we didn't see another one, and we just had our eyes open and didn't come across any more. But yeah, gee, it was really brown too. It was only, 20 centimeters, if that. It was only small.
Yeah.
It probably only been born not long ago.
Well, you probably walked right past about 30 of his brothers.
Oh, probably did. Probably did, mate, because there was like tracks all down that trail. It'll be good we're going to go back to that area, but it's going to be during the winter time. I think it was pretty warm. Oh, it was still like, I think 24 degrees, and we left probably midnight or something. We left, and by the time we got back, we were just sweat, like we were just full of sweat. And like I had my big backpack, but it was just so I can put like the light tripod and the thermal and my camera, and just I took a spare bit of clothes, but it did say it was supposed to rain, so it took me dry as a bone in case it rained. I could put that on and keep dry. But mate, by the time we got back to the car, I had spare clothes. I had to change my clothes. I was that sweaty. It was unbelievable. Even Attila said, mate, gee, how hot is it? And I'm like, I know. I said, that's why I don't come out in summertime, because it's too hot. It's too uncomfortable.
Oh, you're in for a heat wave the next couple of days, I heard.
Yeah, we're going to Wollongong tomorrow, so I don't care. I'll be down near the beach, so it can be hot as it wants in the west. Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm taking Monday off as well. So I'm going into the Blue Mountains on Sunday. I've got to go down this trail and find some carvings that were made by Europeans that used to look after the trail. I want to do a video about history of the trails and try and give us, so that's going to be like my little doco kind of thing. And I'm happy. I'm lucky that I've got Attila as a friend, so I can fall back and ring him up and say, I filmed this. What do you think of this? So a couple of times he's messaged me, or we've got together and gone for a hike, and he said, that last video you made, I really enjoyed that. I watched it all. I'm like, oh, good. If he likes it, I must be doing something right. So yeah. So that's the main thing, because you can. I've watched him film 2 documentaries now, and how he sets things up, and I just sit there and I just watch him and just study what he does. And I don't have the cameras that he's got, and every time he makes a documentary and he gets makes some money from it, he just buys new gear. So he's just showing me these lenses are like this round and this long. Going, look at this lens I bought. It's like $5,000. I'm like, oh shit, So that's just so he just keeps on upgrading to try and make his next documentary better. So
No, it's brilliant. That's brilliant. Well, if anybody wants to go and see any of my mini documentaries,
please tell.
They can go to David Rowan Reed, which is ROHAN. David Rowan Reed. Yeah.
Your last one, whereabouts were you guys in the last video?
Kosciuszko.
Kosciuszko.
Yeah, so there's brumbies in the last one. There was brumbies everywhere. No wonder they want to cull them.
How many you reckon you come across?
I probably saw 20 different mobs, so 8 in one mob, 6 in another, 3, 5, little groups and foals, so they're breeding. And I saw one that looked in very poor condition, but no one's worming, no one's drenching these horses,
Yeah, they're wild bloody horses, them ones. So yeah, it looks like you guys, it was a pretty good trip. What'd you spend 2 nights out in the bush?
No, we ended up spending one night. We went out through Annaminibee, out the back road of Canberra. I know people only know the one way into Canberra, but there's actually 2 or 3 others. And we went out through Annaminibee, up through Kyandra, to fighting a couple of years ago, and which is what interested us to go up there. But when I did a little bit of research, there's reports up there from up to 1912, back to 1912.
Yeah, there seems to be a few reports down around the Canberra area with, they were calling it like a gorilla or something in some reports, weren't they?
Oh, they always called them gorillas around here for some reason. Yeah, Australian gorillas. I remember seeing a wonderful old church notice from a church meeting out at Ginninderra, and in the 1880s, and it said, the weather and how the crops were going and all this sort of thing in the community, and right at the end, and it said, and we do apologise for those antics of those Australian gorillas outside tonight. It actually noted it. I don't forget the exact wording, but the tricks or something of these of the Australian gorillas outside while they were having their meeting. So, yeah, I just thought that was always an interesting one.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so you just wish you could go back to those times and have your thermal camera and see just what was hanging around there, So,
back then, you're talking about a population in Canberra of probably 50.
Jeez, yeah, it could be anything down there. Yeah, so I'm still been going out a fair bit. I'm just still trying to work out, because these fires that happened in 2019, 2020, that it really stuffed things up. Where I've got to start putting some more sound recorders out. But when I was going out before, didn't matter where I kind of went, you'd always get something interesting, But now, went to the Jamison Valley. I got. Something was there, like a thermal signature, like something was moving around, but we didn't really capture it well. So it could have been anything. We only heard one kangaroo come through, and it was clearly a kangaroo noise of it hopping. But it really was known. We did hear a couple of wood knocks come from within the valley, but that was all that we heard there. And when we did the filming for track, like there was some weird shit going on down there, which was got nothing to do with Yowies at all. Like I was actually listening to a podcast that Sarah Bignell does on her Yowie Central, and she was talking to a young bloke that went down. I think he went down the giant staircase. I think near or either the Furber steps. He really didn't say whereabouts, but it was around the Three Sisters, around that area, and they were hearing something saying like it was making different noises, like trying to attract them to go down. Like it was acting like it was like a sick child, and then it was acting, saying, I think, did it say something about come here or something? It was doing different things, and when it knew that they weren't going to go, it started getting angry. He said it started getting angry. So we've heard some like weird things go on down there when we'd finished filming and we're just sitting around the fire. Had our tents set up and we're having a coffee or something, and it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and next minute you just hear this like a woman scream, and there's no one around there, and it had only come from within about 100 meters away, and you're like, do we go down there? Is that really a lady? Like, is that really a woman in distress? And then you wouldn't hear anything else. It was really weird, and we saw different lights coming out from down down south, where near like Lake Burragarang, like these 2 white lights come out of the bush, and they're flying around like they're doing dog fights, and you can't get down there. That's where the waterboard is, and you can't. If you hike through there, you got to give them your name and everything, and you got to hike straight through that area. You can't stop. You can't go to the toilet. You can't stop to have something to eat. You've got to go through from one side to the other, and they got cameras everywhere. So I remember we're climbing up. We got to the top, or 3/4 of the way up from the Golden Staircase up to the top there, and I said to Attila, "What's that?" He says, "Oh, it's the UFO base." I'm like, "UFO base?" And these things are flying around in the middle of the night. They weren't lasers, they weren't drones, and you can see how they were flickering because they were flying through the trees of the ridges. So they were flickering because the trees were, they're going through, and then they come back up, and we've seen that 3 to 4 times. Like every time
the ones we saw when I was up there with you, I went out with Attila.
Yeah, that. Yeah, well, if you go to Narrowneck and you go to there's a lookout. When you get about you get quarter of the way down, there's like I think it's called you go down. I think it's Walter Bodding's lookout. You go down a bit, and then it kind of goes around, and it's like it says, "Don't stay here," because it's rockfall, and it's like a big metal fence, and you can see the whole valley. And if you look south between Narrowneck and Mount Solitary, you can see straight down, and they were way down there. They were probably 5 to 8 k's away. So, and they were flying around in the sky, so you can look straight down. So every time we hiked up, we could see these lights, and they were white, like the one that we saw. But the one that you, me, and Attila saw was like round, and then it went like a massive cigar shape, and it was a few k's away. So that must have been like whatever it went, but it was huge. It wasn't small. And that's when you said, "I've never seen a UFO." So Attila goes, "Well, you just seen one," because I don't know what it is. It was like a round ball of light, went really long, and then it went like a big ball, and then it went boom, disappeared. So that was weird. So yeah, that was when we were just up there having a bit of fun to get out, and we're cooking a bit of bacon to try and track something. But I set up some trail cameras and left them there for like, I think 2 or 3 weeks. It didn't get anything. It didn't get one thing. So,
right place, wrong time, then.
Yeah, it's a bit dry. It was dry there, and nothing's going to be around in a dry area. There's nothing to eat. It's like a desert. Who lives in a desert? There's nothing.
No, you got to be near water. You have to be near water and decent water too.
One place I want to try is on my channel here. The Lura Sewage Works. When you get down to the bottom in the Jamison Valley, you hike down Furber Steps and you go down past Bridal Vale Falls, and you get in and you go down this little dodgy track to the left, and it takes you all the way down to the bottom. And then there's a track that you can walk, and it goes through the valley, and it comes out near Kadumba, and then you can hike out via Kadumba Valley Road, which is like really, really hard. Like, mate, it took me all my effort to get out. It's like you're going up like this for like 3 hours. It's crazy. So I wouldn't mind going down around that area because there's a lot of water down there. It's really green. And you've got a nice open area that you could just set up and sit down and pan around with your thermal, and then you can get on the road and walk up and down the road a bit and spend the night there, you know. So that's where I want to go. So I'll probably do that in winter time because it's just a lot easier in winter time than summer. Like winter time, you don't have to worry about snakes or anything like that. You just got leeches and that's about it, and yowies. So
Just gets cold where I am, Dan, and I know it gets cold in the Blue Mountains too. But you know, many a time we face snow. You know, when we decide to go out, it doesn't stop us. We're just trying to find our creature comforts nowadays. You know, like Vlad's got a hot tent.
Oh yeah,
great big hexagonal thing with a
wood
fire
burner in it. Yeah,
wood burner in it. But the only thing is, I don't like those tents because they don't have a floor, and you know, the amount of things crawling around in the Australian bush at night. So,
well, if you have like a little hammock kind of thing, you'd be all right. But yeah, that's the only problem. Anything can get in. Big bull ants and anything could get there. And well, look at that girl that got bit by the snake, the brown snake up in Queensland. She's inside her house and got bit. And a snake could come in at any time and climb up and bite you while you're sleeping. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about it, Dan.
Yeah, that's about it. We won't dribble on for too long. Well, what I'll do is just leave it open for about a minute. Anyone that wants, funnel web, Shane, of course, especially breeding season. Anyone got any questions or anything to ask us before we leave? We'll just we'll open it up for a second. What's your YouTube channel again, Dave? Just so everyone, if they want to watch your 8-minute videos, he's got the best 8 to 10-minute videos on YouTube.
I wouldn't go that far, Dan, but just my name, David Rowan Reid, and it's ROHAN.
Rowan Reid. So, well, we got 13 people watching, which is pretty good, even though we started half an hour late. And once again, we've gone through the our views on the on that picture. I'm not even going to say who took it. I'm not even going to show it. I'm not even going to say where you can see it because I don't really like the guy. But that's not got anything part of my view. Don't
let that cloud your.
I don't let that cloud my professional judgment. It doesn't. I don't care. It could be my worst. It could be my worst enemy that gets it. I don't care, long as if someone gets it and we go 100% proven to the world that these things are real, that'd be good. It'll justify everyone that's out there. But I'll still give the guy credit to say, look, I'm not going to show any of his pictures on here because they are making a documentary. They got all stuff there, so let them at least bring that out so people that haven't seen it, they can search for it themselves. And so that's about all. There's not much more to talk about other than that. I was going to say something. Anything going on around Facebook groups? Anything else? Anyone acting stupid that we should know about?
I'm not in many Facebook groups, mate. So
no, I'm not. I'm not in it. I'm only in like the Yowie Central and Cade's Believe podcast groups, just to see what comes up here and now. I'm not in any other groups. There's too much fighting and bullshit that goes on. But no questions or anything by anyone. I still see about 13 people watching. Just give it a minute or so. Anyone want to ask a question or know something that's going on before Dave looks like he's getting attacked by mozzies?
Yeah.
You have to get a durry out. Yeah, he's got the durry. Wait, Shane says, I used to follow someone, then he got caught throwing rocks out of his pocket. Now anything he does is fake. Well, yeah, if you do something a bit dodgy like that, you can't be believed again. So that's one thing about if you've been caught doing something fake, well then how could you believe these people? You know, they're lying to you once. There's nothing to say they're not going to do it.
You seem to be frozen there, Dan.
Sorry, it just blew out a second. They want to get their 5 minutes of fame, and they want to. They have to fake things. You know, if you go out enough and you set up sound recorders, and not really trail cams, but you set up sound recorders and you go out enough, you're gonna pick up enough weird stuff to say, hey, this is what we got. But even if you don't get anything that's on there, just you set up, you know, get all your pictures and your videos, and you make a good little short video, like 10 or 15 minutes, and you keep it flowing well. You know, a lot of, like my last video, I've been putting up to try and find some Aboriginal handprints and stuff like that. And even like Attila said, it was really good. I said, I tried to just keep it flowing, not trying to keep it on one thing too long. So there's always something new coming along. And just the scenery makes them videos really good. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I like watching your ones.
I love your videos, Dan. I think they're wonderful.
Thanks, mate. I like watching yours, yeah.
Yeah, but no, there's no bullshit to you. So you say what you think, and I respect that. I respect that.
Well, we'll find out in the end when the evidence comes out, or the so-called evidence and everything in his documentary, and we'll have a look at it. And then after everything's put on the table, then you can fully make your mind up 100% if it's like on the fence, yes or no.
I think that's where we should leave it with that. Just wait and see what comes of it. So, but it would be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful if it's not Paradoiga.
But honestly, I think it is. So I'm not losing any sleep over it because that's what I think it is. So I wish you'd pray it would be something. I'm hoping. I've got a little bit of hope still somewhere in the back of my mind somewhere, but there's not much after all the idiots have been. You know, I call them blowflies, Dave. Just before we go, they turn up, they show all this bullshit stuff, they cause all trouble in Facebook groups, and they have arguments and everything, and then they're gone like a blowfly, disappeared, dead, gone, never to come back. And how many blowflies I've seen? But I'll say one thing: at least this person does go out. I know he doesn't go out at night, but at least he does go out. It's better than these people sitting here on a keyboard, click, 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 and having fights and never step out into the bush. And when they do,
but I won't go out on my own in the bush here either.
Oh, I used to, but I won't now because more of just thinking, oh, if I get hurt, who's going to help me? If I get bit by a snake, who's going to help me? All that kind of stuff. And there's been so many times I've been hiking up on ridges, and I'm like, I've slipped and went, shit, I nearly fell off 20 meters. You know, so you got to be really, really careful. Like sandstone is not all. You can slip on it quite easily, even dry sandstone. So, all right, we'll let it go at that. It's 40-something minutes. Mate. And thanks, Dave, for joining us. Sorry, everyone, it took a while. So we had a problem with the connection of sending links, and they just wouldn't work. And we finally just gave it a go with something that we thought might not work, but it actually works. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. But this is what everything Yowie's about. Anything could happen. So thanks, everyone. We'll probably have another show in about another month's time.
And what do you do with thongs, Dan?
I don't eat them like some people. Always hiking thongs.
Good night.
See ya.